Earth has entered a new era, one that has both man and beast as its rulers. Kong is king. Humanity is advancing as fast as ever. And Godzilla is the undisputed champion of them all. Their differences and problems put aside for the moment, it appears like nothing on Earth could challenge them. It's unfortunate. If only they took the time to think outside of our world, into the vast emptiness beyond. New MonsterVerse director Grant Spator and Dan Stevens, aka Trapper from GXK, have already begun to hype and tease the fandom with what some are considering to be cryptic messages, giving hints at what's to come, or playing a clever misdirection to get everyone talking. And talk we shall. Give this video a like if you want more interaction from the MonsterVerse people like this. Grant went on to express his stokedness for his chance to work with such a great cast of actors, with Dan Stevens in focus. Responding to this, Danny here went on to make this statement in response. Grant Spator and Legendary are pulling together an awesome team for this next monster mission. Now focus on the bottom real quick. Watch this space. Either Dan is talking about watching his social media account space, or if you think about it, those three words and how the character Trapper would actually say them would sound something more like this maybe. Watch this space. Because he's kinda awkward and all that. Suddenly his profile picture makes a lot more sense, right? The idea of space invaders in the MonsterVerse has been thrown around for some time now, but has mostly been cast aside in favor of more natural Titan threats. But as the MonsterVerse ages, the stories being told have to evolve, and bring ideas to the table that haven't been seen before, or at least ideas that have been sitting on the back burner for so long that they have started to gain nostalgic qualities. Regardless of how much fun it's been, we can't keep having each movie in the MonsterVerse focus on some new big bad Titan threat. That's just not sustainable and ideas are gonna quickly dry up. And this is exactly where an alien invasion in the giant monster flick genre has been sitting, locked away for some time now. It's been over 20 years since we got a true live-action alien invasion in a Godzilla movie, Godzilla Final Wars. One of the most wacky G-Man movies you can ever watch, but overall a real fun time, even if it is a bit too much at times. But even beyond Final Wars, invasions, specifically of the extraterrestrial variety, have a long history in the Godzilla franchise. The Millennians in Godzilla 2000, the M-Space Hunter Nebula aliens in Godzilla vs. Gigan, the Simians in the two Showa-era Mechagodzilla films, the Kilaks, and most famously perhaps, the Exilians. Now I'll cut to the chase. As beloved as these old films are to Godzilla fans, they've not helped the non-believers think that an alien invasion in a kaiju genre film could be something to be taken serious. And to this day, the idea has its haters. Now it is safe to say that an alien invasion in a modern MonsterVerse film would have to change up the formula, while still keeping in enough references to these old films to please the superfans. And I have to tell you, I think this is easily doable and could, with the right creative team, be one of the most enjoyable kaiju movies of all time. The MonsterVerse, after two successful but more light-hearted entries into the series, is said to be going back to its more rough-around-the-edges origins. More serious, more grounded is the common rumor right now. The word grounded and aliens don't usually go together, but if you look at alien invasions from older movies and study how they did it, it tells us that any new attempt doesn't have to be over the top and flashy at this specific genre. But what it does need to do is bring back true stakes to this franchise, and a constantly building terror that consistently eats at the viewer, as the catastrophe that is an alien invasion riddles the planet and its inhabitants to their core. So maybe now is a good time to bring back that feeling from 80s, 90s, and 1000s invasion films, where the threat and danger of an event like this was brought to its peak. If aliens wanted to invade us, it wouldn't be fun and colorful. Unless of course you like the color of destruction and death. This era of alien movies brought out some of the most terrifying moments in films for me as a kid. But I still love them and was obsessed with these kinds of stories. Still am. So setting aside the silly ideas and outfits from back in the Toho days, and the over-the-top superhero effects setting a trend over the last decade or so in modern Hollywood, and the idea of an alien invasion actually sounds pretty cool when you take a look at the current MonsterVerse. And at this point, it's one of the few directions I can see this franchise going moving forward. So here's my theory on how it could play out. Get comfy, set the vibe right in your mind, and picture this. The Scar King, who tried to take over the world, has been dead for some time now. At this time, there was definitely those who opposed the Titans and wanted to ensure no more attacks could ever happen. But more around the world were happy knowing the 4 greatest of the Titans, that being Godzilla, Kong, Mothra, and Shimo, would fight for them and keep any future dangers at bay. Something that at this point in the lore's timeline would likely start to play out in many people's minds. Thinking to themselves, yeah, these attacks are horrible, but it seems they're not gonna stop, so let's embrace the good ones and use them to fight the bad. This majority opinion from the human population set into motion a mighty union of man and beast. King Kong and his army apes kept the hollow earth in line, constantly searching for new portals to the surface world, and either guarding them or destroying them. On the surface, any monster threat that slipped by was quickly cut down by the combined efforts of the multinational military and Godzilla. Everything is epic, guns are firing, explosions. Godzilla is finally given his chance to shine again in all his glory as the main Titan focus this time around. The world, for the most part, is safe. But all the radioactive activity from Titans and the humans lately had caught the attention of someone far, far away. An alien species whose vast armies could benefit from obtaining this vast amount of energy. For an undetermined amount of time, they watched our planet, observing our ways. Here they learned about humanity and about Earth's greatest warrior, Godzilla. The radioactive reptilian menace worried the invaders, so they devised a plan. They would create a human clone or perhaps take over the mind of someone in a highly elevated position within one of the governments, perhaps a general of humanity's armies. To go along with the recent news about Matt Modine being cast as a general in the story, perhaps this could be a way to pay homage to the old Toho films, where aliens using human disguises to fit in happened pretty much every time. Back then it was because it was cheaper to have humans playing the aliens in this way. But nowadays, especially with a crafty thriller director in Grant Spator, this plot point could be delivered in a much more serious and goosebump-raising way. This infiltration would cause turmoil and would slowly make the humans weaker and their trust in the Titans less confident. Weaken the foundation and the rest will fall. Now, the time was perfect for the invasion of Earth. For this I got some custom scenes created by DARKO Darks and myself, huge shout out to him, and I'm using Covenant ships from Halo because, well, why not? I love me some Halo. So in your minds, imagine a giant fleet appearing out of the clouds, releasing complete terror on the Earth. Across the globe, Titans and humans alike fight to protect their homes and territories. But the ships of the invaders harbor weapons beyond even the Titans. Eventually, the war would make it to its big battle. Godzilla, along with the largest human military operation in the MonsterVerse yet, taking on the aliens' main attack force. They are still heavily outmatched, but with Godzilla in the battle, hope remained. A roar as loud as 1,000 lions ripped through the air. It was Kong, Shimo, and his army. Unlike the Scar King, Kong can actually get his forces to the battle. The aliens fire and the battle is on. Seeing the two iconic monsters face off against a serious and deadly alien threat would be a sight to see. And maybe there would be a secret weapon of the aliens of Cyborg or Godzilla DNA nature that enters the battle. You know what I mean. Stay tuned to DangerVille for a video on that coming real soon. The artillery and guns of the military fire in epic fashion. The missiles and tracer rounds fly right past Godzilla and Kong as they both roar at the invaders, blowing Kong's hair as they pass close by him. Jets and choppers are in dogfights with the enemy. Kong is trying to keep the smaller ships from entering the city, and Godzilla sets his gaze on the capital ships leading the invasion, and perhaps their secret weapon. Focusing on the human dynamic of fighting an invading force and infantry would suddenly make the human parts in a MonsterVerse movie have purpose and value. You're never gonna please everyone with a human character storyline in a kaiju film, so just show a bunch of cool military folk blasting every badass piece of weaponry we have at some aliens that want to see us dead. This is a good way of making the human parts of this movie as epic as possible, to where it doesn't feel like the brakes are being slammed every time a scene changes. And this more militaristic and apocalyptic take on the MonsterVerse action could revamp not just the kaiju but also alien genres of films. This battle would be epic and a brand new experience in the MonsterVerse. It may not be a super original idea, but if done right it could be an opportunity to show the greatest combined war efforts in a MonsterVerse movie yet. Is even though Godzilla and Kong have been in the last two movies, they were never allies till the last minutes of the story. This time, they're working together the entire time. They are a unified force. They are the Defenders of Earth. Godzilla x Kong, Defenders of Earth. Classic. We can always pretend it's not going to end like this, but Godzilla and Kong always win. And for a time, with this battle, it would appear that that trend would continue. But let's say a first for the MonsterVerse happens. Godzilla, Kong, and the humans don't outright win. They win the battle, but the war is just beginning. The enemy had been anger, and for the first time, a MonsterVerse movie ends in cliffhanger fashion. True cliffhanger. Finally proving that the MonsterVerse creators and Legendary are confident in their brand enough to allude to a sequel, and truly bring the fandom together for years of fun theories and discussions about what's gonna happen next. Residents, if you want more interactive videos like this using history, theories, and current topics to make these imaginative adventures come to life, share this video around and get talking about it. Also, make sure to check out DARKO Darks. He and I had a ton of fun crafting this living and breathing 3D world. And you can see more of our shared art here in its original form over on his Instagram, so I'm going to link that below. He's made some truly artistically amazing shots using the MonsterVerse's characters, and I know some of you guys are going to love it. Just go over there, follow him, and let him know I sent you. On that note, everyone, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please go enjoy the rest of your day. And as always, this has been Jacob, and I'll see you in the next one.